It is, but like everyone's being really respectful about what's going on. Like no one is trying to be like, I'm not wearing a mask or everyone is doing the right thing. That being said, the couple of nice days that we've had, the trails are way too full. There's way too many people. Like it's like we could barely ride the bikes on the nice days because there's too many people on the damn trails. So, but what are you gonna do? You know, people want to get out.
People are going stir crazy. Yeah.
People need to get out, and I don't really know how it's gonna work. Like we got all the beaches here. Like I live close to the beach. Once June comes, like normally there's millions of people at the fucking beaches. I don't know what their plan is going to be for New York State. I just don't know. So I don't know. It beats me.
We just reopened our parks here, and we're live. We'll just roll with it. I mean, it's just bullshit conversation like we normally do. So
yeah.
What the fuck is up? It's Bread and Circuses. This is full disclosure. We're a very transparent show. This is take 2. Last time we did it, our audio file was corrupted for no reason. So there was nothing.
I didn't even get to make it because of the baby. So
that's why it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it just wasn't meant to be last week. You gotta roll with the punches in this business. So.
We're on with John Ryan. He's the percussionist and backing vocalist for the band Keep Flying from the East Coast. I don't know if you guys identify as New York or.
Also saxophone, but I'll take it.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We identify as New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, but we kind of just say the Northeast because we're scattered amongst the 3 states. And it's not the tri-state area because that's Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York. So it's more like the Northeast. So
gotcha.
Yeah, but those are the states where the band resides: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, which is the other thing we go by. So you
probably like get out down into like Philly and stuff pretty frequently to do shows and everything.
Our bass player lives in Philly, so
Hell
we
yeah.
play there as often as we play Long Island, which is like our true like home market, and then the same amount we play North Jersey and like Asbury Park, New Jersey. Those are like the main places where I guess would be our home markets. But funny enough, there are a lot of other cities that have the same kind of vibe and turnout since we tour so much that feel like home markets, like Portland, Maine, Portland, Maine, Austin, Texas, Charleston, South Carolina. Those 3, Orlando now, Boston is starting to feel like home, Brattleboro, Vermont, which is like South Vermont. There's like a lot of, we tour so much that we're playing places that most people never play ever, like every 4 months. So it starts to feel like we're from there. So it's kind of nice.
Hell yeah. Well,
everyone will be back on tour.
I really hope sooner than later, but realistically, our size band and smaller and local bands are going to be the first bands back to doing stuff. So, you know, I don't know when that's going to be, but I do know that our band will be touring before a lot of other bands because we're the smaller size, so we can, or we'll be able to with less risk.
Actually, that might actually end up working in your guys' favor at the end of all this too, because people are going to be hungry to get out and go see some music and just do some stuff. So, like
a lot of my friends who are booking agents or venue owners or promoters are basically telling me like, when this starts back up, we're going to need the small bands to really test the waters, and also we're going to need the small bands who still love doing it to do it, because there's going to be a lot of free events, a lot of free shows just to get people in the door. And bigger bands with 30 people on crew, they just can't do free shows. They just can't, they can't do that. So I think that the music industry that really couldn't give less of a shit about the small bands like us and smaller are going to really be relying on us to get the gears moving again. And luckily for them, we're going to be more than happy to, because we still love doing this to do it. So,
do you guys have like your own roadies, or do you guys set up all your own stuff?
We do all our own stuff. We're still playing anywhere from, we do support stuff where we're playing, we're opening for bigger bands in like 1,000 to 2,000 cap rooms. But when we're headlining, we're still playing basement shows, libraries, fucking taco stand, record stores, small 100 cap venues, DIY rooms, storage units. Like, we still play lots of places like that. So we're crammed in the van, no trailer, hauling all our shit, doing all our own thing.
Hell yeah.
We like
the
it that
grind.
way. That's how we're able to also keep the expenses as close to zero as possible. So that's how we have to do it.
That's the grind of it. Yep, that's what I've been working with Derek Pavelka and Zach Bravietti, 2 other comedians. We're trying to do a small town takeover show. It's going to be all us, so that's basically the same thing, touring around Nebraska and Iowa.
Keep it small and keep it in one car and do some events, like get people in the door. Maybe if you work out a deal with the venues that they give you a little bit of money from the bar sales, but everyone's got to start all over. So it's like everyone needs to start trickling in income somehow. So, I guess that's for music, that's how it's going to have to start. Small events that are just people excited to get out and risk. It's going to be a risk because you're going to be touching people. So no matter what, you're going to be at risk. So it's like, how do you get people to want to, to feel good as they can be? I guess small rooms, small bars at half capacity, where it's free, where people, you could justify going out maybe. And even then, I think some people won't go. So,
even minus a crazy global pandemic going on, like usually if you're packing into those tiny shows and everything, it's not like necessarily going to be the most conducive to staying healthy. You know what I mean? Because like there could be some
question.
There could be somebody in there with just some random thing. Like,
how about regular flu season? Like regular flu. Like you're at a 200 cap room with 250 people in it, plus bands and guest list. What do you mean? Like somebody, you might get something. You don't know. People spitting all over the place, sweating all over each other.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
Have we seen our last mosh pit? Do you think?
I don't think so, but I do think I've looked at like the state. There's like a CNN has like a little like link for all the states and where they're at, like where they're opening, like what days and what they have open, right? I've seen some of the states that have some things about to open, like restaurants and like salons and bars. A lot of them are looking at having all of those buildings at half capacity. And I think that there's no question when the small venues and bars open, it's going to have to be at least half capacity. So if you're a 150 cap room, it's going to be 75,
Yeah.
And so I think you're still going to see people engaging and having fun, but the room just won't be as tight. That way, the people who don't want to engage are able to stand in the back or on the side where they're not touching any other people. It gives the people the option. As opposed to like here at our local venue, it's a 225 cap. Sometimes we sell shows to 275 and you can't walk in the building without instantly touching people.
Yeah.
So,
you'll probably start to see a lot of people, even like, after everyone's given the all clear and everything, you'll probably still see a bunch of people wearing masks out in public or in shows like this.
That too. No question. That's going to be, I think, for a long time.
That's a common thing over in Asia, and it has been for a while, though.
Yeah, it has.
Respect thing is they've worn masks like way before any of this started.
Right. Yep.
But
for the other people.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing them.
I
feel it's like
I agree. It's respect.
That's
it's like a cultural thing.
Here in America, the people you see wearing masks, it's to protect themselves. Like most of them, I think it was Tim Dillon was like, they don't even give a fuck about their neighbor. They don't care about old people.
Yeah.
They don't want to get it themselves. But no, I'm with you. Like every show I've ever been at, festival, bar, whatever. I mean, you are packed in like sardines. So I think it is going to be really interesting to see with all the touching and stuff.
I think just like right now it makes people like a little bit more aware of like what's they're doing around them. Cause it's like, now there's actually something that you've got in the back of your head, like, oh shit, this could kill me. It's like, you're not putting your hands in your mouth as much, touching your face or whatever. So
I was saying, I think last time when we did this the first time, another thing that's going to be for certain is that all bands, regardless of size, are going to need to travel with their own vocal mics from here on out. Like already a lot of bands do that, but like not everybody, but a lot of bands that I work for, they like carry their own mics. There's no question that now it's like do you really want to show up to a venue and use a mic that's been spit into by who knows how many people? Like, no, probably not. So you're probably going to carry your own. It's not a big cost, but it's definitely a thing. Like, everyone's going to do that.
And that's a good point. I'm super interested to see how open mic nights change all over the place when you've got 30 or 40 people spitting into a mic.
Right. Up there for 10 minutes, you know, like, bring your own.
Yeah.
Bring your own.
Yeah.
That might be.
And go home and take that filter off and clean that out after every performance. You know what I mean? Like, no one's done that. It doesn't happen.
Oh man, now I'm thinking about it too. A lot of the places I've been to go to like small shows and everything, man, they have like the dingiest, grungiest bathrooms too, and like ain't nobody washing their hands in those
that's my thing though. That's why I think I've never gotten it, is because I've spent enough time in punk venue bathrooms that I'm immune. I've caught way nastier shit than that. So that's my only inkling of hope I'm holding on to. But I honestly, what's that?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you were. No, as far as the open mic thing goes, I've never understood why they don't do this, because like you said, microphones aren't really that much money. But maybe have like 3 or 4 mics and you rotate it and just sanitize them after every person. You don't got to have 40 mics or have everyone have their own, but to just rotate them and sanitize them, you know, so by the, you know, the chemicals have settled. Don't inject yourself. We don't endorse that on this show.
Jesus.
by the next, but you know, so by the time the next person goes up, it's been clean. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a good system. I mean, I was talking this with my friend about movie theaters. You know, Texas, I saw they said the theaters could open.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're not. Yeah. And I read one today that was like, they're just not prepared to have people come back to their theaters and like risk people getting hurt because they're sitting for a movie. There's also no new movies going out into the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I live in El Paso, Texas, and Texas is doing it a lot city by city cases.
Right.
And El Paso actually they're not going to be opening up anything, I think, until next week. But I've been seeing a lot of like drive-in theaters are actually what's booming right now.
There we go.
And El Paso only has a drive-in porn theater. Like they don't have any drive-in movie theaters.
A drive-in porn theater?
Yeah, they legit have a drive-in porn theater, like just on the outskirts of town.
That's nice. That's horny. That's nice. We love that.
Has anyone ever been to a drive-in theater without the purpose of getting a hand job, though? That's my question. That's the only time I've ever heard that. Like,
absolutely not.
No, not at all. Fuck, man. That's dirty. But no, for real. We're opening. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like I was just gonna say, like even with theaters, like maybe you could sell every third seat, right? But like you also don't have the capacity of you don't have the employer capacity to go and sanitize the seats. They barely have the time to go in there and scoop up the popcorn and the drinks before the next showing. Yeah. So you're gonna have less showings in order to sanitize the chairs, and also there's no movies, so you're gonna have less showings because there's no movies. So you're not gonna have like a movie run like 15 times in a day. You might have it run 3 times because there's people still not coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Everything is just, I'm very curious just to see who goes back to doing what things that are social things after this and how fast they go back.
It seems like movie theaters we're kind of on the downward spiral anyway. Like this might just end up being, and this might just be like the nail in the coffin for like all the AMCs and everything.
I think a lot of theaters will close. I think that and condense down for sure.
Yeah, you might only start to see like theaters like in Omaha. They have like the Dundee Theater, like just real tiny ones that maybe play like indie movies or something. Like
theaters.
Even with go ahead.
Oh, so I was gonna say theaters and chain restaurants. So you're still gonna have. So I feel like right away, everyone's going to go to the movies. Everyone's going to go out to eat because they missed it. And then the Rosie retrospective is going to kick in and it's going to be like, wait, I didn't really like this that much. So you'll still have super nice restaurants for like date nights and stuff. And you'll still have local restaurants. But Applebee's, Red Robin, people are going to realize like, I would rather eat this at home than come here and get their reheated food. Like I think that's what we're gonna go, or what it's gonna come to.
Yeah, I definitely could see that kind of thing. And then, like, I mean, also, how about we're adjusting to the fact that people can't go out, right? So, like, Extraction. That was a movie that just came out. It was supposed to be in the theaters. They've repurposed it right to Netflix. They worked the deal out, right?
Yeah.
Who's to say that that's not going to happen more with more movies moving forward? Like, well, that was pretty successful. Why don't we just have other movies that are major motion pictures go right to the streaming and see how it goes?
Yeah, Disney
Because
owns like 5 major studios. I mean, people already pay for their app. They'll just put it right on their app. Like,
Disney's in trouble though. Disney's in a lot of trouble. I mean, as far as billionaires can be in trouble, but I mean, they're because their issue is when they reopen their parks, are they going to be able to allow enough people in to keep them profitable? Like, that's the concern.
Yeah, that was another thing I was talking. I have many friends who work at both Land and World, and I was asking, like, what on earth could they do specifically? How are you going to do the lines for the rides?
oh,
How are
yeah.
you going to? The park themselves hold tens of thousands of people, but the lines are also a lot of people. Are you going to space the lines? If you space the lines, are people going to care? Are people going to follow the dots on the ground, let's say, that you put?
Yeah.
And, like, I don't think that they even know what they're going to do yet. I think that their parks, when they open, are going to run at a reduced capacity. But it might be like a you coming at your own risk kind of thing. I don't know. But it's certainly going to be making millions of dollars less every day. There's no way they can't get back. My buddy told me that his company meeting he works like in one of the offices. He told me that they've already said it will take well over 5 years for them to get even close to where they were.
Man,
I believe it. And then if you think from the perspective of like sporting events, I think this is another thing we talked about last time. You know, like they're saying they could sell every third seat, but how do you enforce that? Because you already see people like buying nosebleed seats and coming down to open seats in the front. Mm-hmm. And you would have to hire more security to enforce that, but you're already out 2/3 of your normal income, you know, not just from tickets, but from concessions, from, you know, souvenirs, from merchandise, whatever. You're already out 2/3 of that, so you can probably barely afford to keep the employees you have. I just don't know how you could enforce every third seat.
No idea. Truly no clue. We don't know. But the good thing is we're all just going to kind of find out pretty poorly together. I think that's how it's going to work.
Yeah, right.
That's basically how humanity has stumbled throughout history, is just figuring it out.
I'm sure.
That's the word for it.
I'm sure like NFL is going to be fine. Honestly, the MLB is probably going to be really hurting because the MLB makes a lot of their money just from the live ticket sales. Because I mean, it's super cheap to go to a baseball game compared to like that's just, you know, not a whole lot. As many people watch it on TV as say other sports. So that's just kind of how they stay afloat.
Yeah, no, baseball's too slow for me to follow on TV.
Yeah,
same for me, bro. No, thanks.
It's fun to go to the stadium and go watch because you can get good tickets for like $40 at some places. But
yeah, no, I mean, like I'm from Omaha.
On the road, right? Yeah, you get the college stuff there.
Yeah. What were you saying on the road?
So on the road, my drummer and my guitar player, they very often go to just rent. If there's a game happening anywhere, like if we're there early, he'll go to a minor league thing. He'll go to a AAA league thing. He don't care. He'll go and find like the supporter group on Facebook and he'll chime in and write a post and be like, "Hi, I'm in this city today. I'm in a touring band. And I'm wondering if anybody has any free tickets." And he'll get free tickets every time.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, me and my
awesome.
husband aren't going. So here's the scan for 2 tickets. And he's seen so many teams in like whatever seats for free in so many cities because that's what he does to pass his time.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Well, even like the Diamondbacks AAA team is here in El Paso, and you can get tickets for that for like $12 a piece for like front row. Like I can imagine
yeah.
like people just be giving up those tickets. Like it's like,
Dude.
oh well.
I saw Hinder at a Storm Chasers game once after a show or after a game. They had like free concert night, and it was like with the new lead singer. I just thought it was wild. I'm like, I remember them saying Hinder was the next Aerosmith, and now all of a sudden I get to see them for free at a baseball game.
Oh yeah, they kind of fell. They hindered a little bit for sure.
I mean, you got the insight on the music industry. How do bands just fall off like that? Is it
A couple things, a couple ways. A big way is if they take too long to put out a new record. If they don't do anything for too long.
yeah.
Especially not so much in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, but like as we hit the 2000s, people's attention span became less and less.
Yeah.
Especially with the digital age. So like now, if you don't have like any sort of content for any small amount of time, people move on. They find another band that's like your band, and they like that band instead. That's very common. So like sometimes if a band member, let's say someone has an injury or death in the family or something crazy that makes them not tour for a while, sometimes they'll never come back. By the time they come back, it's never the same. Sometimes it's the other way, but I've seen it go way too many times where a band comes back and it just didn't. People have moved on. They haven't paid attention to the band in so long. So that's one way. If you put out a bad record, people really don't like your record. That's gonna definitely make people be like, okay, then they don't listen, then they're not paying attention to your social media, so they don't see any content that you're giving, and they move on.
Yeah.
Or if you don't make any content, or if you make bad content. And then the other way is if you have assholes in the band. If someone in the band makes your fans hate you, or if someone in your band makes other bands not like you, or booking agents not like you, or promoters not like you, it's like bands don't want to take you on tour, so you're not going to grow to any new fans. Promoters don't want to have you in their venue, so they're not going to book you in the room, and then you're not playing to people and you're not making any new fans, and now you've just kind of fizzled out until your fans become 35, they stop caring about live music, and they move on.
Man, especially like now in this day and age where it's like so easy to be a public jackass. Like, yeah, that's probably.
You mean like when your lead singer gets on Twitter and like threatens other bands like Trapped?
That is like a prime example of that's a prime example of like maybe that could have worked in his favor had he not kept going. In my opinion, he has definitely gone too far. Like in the beginning, it was kind of funny for me. I was laughing. I was like, what is this guy smoking? I was entertained by it. So for me, it made me go, oh, I haven't listened to Trapped in forever. I remember like going to their profile and like listening to 4 songs and be like, hell yeah. Like it worked. But then it went too far, and then it was like, okay, this guy actually is like something's wrong. Like this can't be real anymore.
So I'm on as of 5 minutes ago. He is still at it.
That's amazing. As you know, you've heard the saying, but all PR is good PR, even if it's bad.
Yeah.
So to a degree, but he's kind of crossed the line with that. But like in the beginning, I would say it was working. People were looking at the profile, going, "I remember this band."
Yeah. I remember Headstrong, and then I looked up a couple other songs, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know Trapped sang that." But
correct, same with me. I was like, I had no idea those were their songs.
So I mean, yeah, like you said, any publicity. So we're talking about it now. How many people that listen to this show are gonna hear this and go listen to like 2 or 3 Trapped songs just for the nostalgia trip?
Yeah, why not? Like somebody else might be like, yeah, oh yeah, let me listen to one of those. Oh, they do have singles that I didn't know were by them. Oops.
Yeah, no, and somehow everyone has been tagged in a Trapped thread. So,
but if you also another side of that, if you look at, so as you can tell, there's also people chiming in going against him for the same kind of thing. If they're saying something funny or mean to that guy out of nowhere, like other artists and stuff, it's also PR for them. Some of them are doing it because maybe they genuinely feel this, but you gotta know that some of them are just looking for the clout and looking for the PR, which they're getting because people are now clicking their profiles.
Yeah.
You can go and write something right now, right? And if it's funny, someone might click your tweet and then look at your profile and see that you do like a podcast and you're a comedian and move and be like, oh, wow, you can do that based off of that guy's responding to you. So like that also comes with this. People for sure jump in on that. I'll say in the beginning, I saw people jumping in and was like, okay, but then like a little later, I was like, okay, now the people that are jumping in now, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like a little bit of clout chasing, looking for that free PR to me, but who am I, maybe not.
100%. And Nick, are you aware of what was going on there?
Yeah, I'm aware of what's going on.
I didn't know if you had seen it.
Well, so because I don't really use Twitter, but a lot of times in other social media stuff, Twitter is like the perfect thing to like screen cap for stuff. Yeah. So it jumps over into other platforms all the time. Like,
see, that's my thing. Like when you have other people like counting on you, you shouldn't talk shit in their name. And I think I don't know if he still has any members of his band or if they're just touring, but like I have opinions that I would voice on social media, but I wouldn't do it in the name of our podcast. Like I do it for me personally, because I don't represent you. Like I'm sure there's things Nick and I disagree with. I wouldn't represent Nick in a light that he wouldn't be comfortable with. And like, he should have that respect for his band members or even his touring band members that affiliate themselves.
Or even just as like support staff for the band too. Cause like could be roadies with them or like his booking agent or something that has nothing like, you know what I mean? Like that's his job is to make sure this guy's got stuff to do.
No question about that. There are definitely people that are affected. I'm going to assume that he has no other members. I'm assuming that they're touring members now. I don't even know when the last time they toured is. I'd have to look.
But they're on tour right now.
Are they?
Yeah. I don't know if all their events are canceled, but they were they have a show actually in Lincoln on the 30th of April. That's got to be canceled though.
It's got to be.
They were touring like right up until they told them they couldn't.
That rocks. That is cool. They're cool. I'm assuming it's all touring members because whenever I see an account like that, it's usually ran by like the one person left in the band.
So they've still got their bassist and their drummer, looks like, and their guitarist.
So original members. So that means that guys are seeing what he's doing and they're either not caring or turning a cheek or I wouldn't be cool. They feel the same, or they feel the same and they think it's cool. Or they think it's funny. Or
they're just all hyping him up in the van or something like that, or the bus. They're like, yo, man, post it.
Get him.
I hope it's like that, to be honest. These guys, I think they must be in like their 40s. So I hope it is.
Nick, we should try to get the singer on the podcast.
Sure, yeah, we should, man. Dude, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of flaming people on the internet. So I love doing that shit.
I think to an extent, like a friend of mine just got like there's a point where the internet becomes real life and it's not funny anymore. Like a friend of mine just got like into a Facebook argument with this guy, and this guy took it upon himself to find my friend and then post his address and say, how would you like it if I came and talked to you about it there? And that's where the line gets drawn, in my opinion. So
that's the most boomer thing ever. Like,
that's no good. I would agree. I'd say that is way, way too far past.
That's my thing. There's nothing you could say to me on the internet that would make me want to A, cost you your job, or B, meet up and physically assault you. Like there's if it's that bad, I'd press block. If I was concerned for my safety, I'd file a police report because you never know what's going to happen. And then if they show up and my dog mauls them at the door, then it's kind of like, well, why didn't you call us?
Well, shit, somebody like you, John, you probably have so many interactions with just like people that you're never going to see again. It's like, who the fuck cares about what these people say on the internet, dude? Like,
well, that is a great point you bring up because I'll be honest, bro. It's taken me a very, very long time to get to a point where I can confidently say that I just don't care what people think or say.
Damn.
You know how it goes. Like for not everyone, but for a lot of people, it's like that one mean negative thing that someone says versus the 100 nice things. That one negative mean one is the thing that shined through for some reason.
Yeah.
Just how it is, and you just overthink it. And man, I used to let that stuff eat me alive, like straight up, like cripple me sometimes straight up cripple me. But over the last actually since Keep Flying started, I would say that has slowly decreased all the way down to where the point now is like, I just don't care now. Now it's like, yeah, that's fine. You can think what you want or feel what you want. Like if you're not going to talk to me about it and not have a combo, or you're not open to having a combo, well, then you're the loser, not me. You're the one that doesn't even want to talk about it. So I'm good. No worries.
That's like so relatable because you're 100% right. You know, they say don't read the negative comments. That's definitely easier said than done.
Right.
And it reading it about, especially when it's something you're passionate about, like I can go out and murder a stand-up set and the whole crowd can love me. And then the video will get shared to social media. And you got one jackass, oh, this hack isn't funny. That'll fucking crush your high. The whole night is just ruined from that. Yep. And that's amplified. Everyone that paid to see you loved you, but that one guy that wants to shit on, and that's the hardest thing for a lot of, and I have gotten better about not reading the comments, but you still do it every now and then, and it still does sting.
It's hard, but I think it's good practice. And then just, I don't know, once you get to that point, I can look back and be like, I wonder how all those people that had something not nice to say like that for no reason, I wonder how their life is. I hope they're well. You know, I hope they're well. I hope that they found happiness from whatever sadness that they were having, that they had to be horrible to other people like that, just to like make themselves feel better. I hope that they're all right. You know, I really do feel that way, truthfully.
It's really zen because like people when you're on the internet versus in person, like you don't give a fuck. Like you can say whatever you want on the internet and like just forget about it.
Well, there was a quote I saw. I don't remember where it was. It was the internet's such an uncivil place because the threat of violence has been removed. I mean, you're going to go up and insult some guy or talk, say whatever about his mother or his significant other because there's no risk that guy's going to punch you in the face.
There's no consequence. Correct. There's no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah. And I mean,
that's why people do it. That's why people go on YouTube and say horrible things. They use every racial slur, every inappropriate word that you could ever think of. No care. It's crazy. I find YouTube and Twitter to be the absolute worst places.
They are. Twitter's bad. Mainly because it's anonymous. Yeah. And Facebook, I feel like there's a psychological thing. You're talking shit to somebody on Facebook. You're actually more or less saying it to them, not their Twitter handle. And that's the other thing is it's not just the threat of violence, but the threat of actually seeing the fallout of what you say to this person because you have no idea what another person's going through.
I like Facebook with that as opposed to Twitter because on Facebook, I mean, like a lot of times if you're getting someone talking shit to you on Facebook and it's just some random profile with like a fucking picture of like the Detroit Lions logo on it and it's not an actual
bots.
Yeah, you're like, who the fuck cares about this guy? But then if it's like an actual person, you can look at this guy, and this is an actual person versus Twitter. It's like fucking at big dick sucker, and then it's like the same Detroit Lions thing. It's like you have no idea what that is. Like,
that's what I love about doing comedy is whenever someone has an opinion that's in the crowd that actually does decide to voice that. If you can light that heckler up, you get the audience on your side the whole night. You just showed
them.
What's that?
You just showed them. You put them in their place, basically.
You guys get hecklers at your shows at all, or no?
No,
never?
I don't think we ever. I mean, we've had people like yell things out that we've always engaged with because it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. If someone does that like awkwardly out of place and you engage with them, then the crowd laughs and then you move on. Like that's it.
Just yelling at you to play Freebird or something.
Oh, we've gotten that. Like that's like the common That's across all music. I don't know why that became a thing, but that is across all music. That's what happens. And actually, one of my friends' bands learned Freebird, so that when that happened, they play it. And like, well, they'll play like 30 seconds of it, and that to me is just hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is fucking dope, man.
I love when you're seeing a band and then they just randomly come out like with just some cover song that you weren't expecting at all. Like
The nostalgia trips.
Yeah, dude.
That was, I think, I Prevail used to do that because they got really big off. It's funny, like bands like I Prevail, they won't sing that Blank Space cover because they don't want to be known as the band that covered Taylor Swift anymore.
Right. Well, because it becomes a big part of your identity, and then you're like, oh, we don't want to be known for the cover. We want to be known for our music.
Yeah.
Then it becomes an internal battle for sure.
Have you guys done any covers yet? Like released any?
We have released no covers, but we've just finished a new record that also has no covers. But since quarantines happened, some of our tours clearly in April, May, and June have been washed. I actually think we're going to get back in the studio in June, I think. And we're going to do covers of our own songs. We're going to do like acoustic and recomposed versions of our current music from like a couple songs from each of the EPs that we have out already, which is going to be cool. But we have always talked about like actual covers of other bands. And recently I've started compiling a list of things that are out of the box that I think would be hilarious / well done for us to cover. For instance, I will give you one of those. The Village People's YMCA.
That's awesome, dude.
Everyone in the world knows it. If you don't know it, I don't know what's wrong. It already has horns in it. And we could take that and recreate that and make it our own. And I think it would be hilarious and people would love it. And it would go over very well live.
For sure.
Yeah, that's true.
So
do you think right now with everything going on out right now, I mean, like, yeah, you guys aren't touring, but I mean, like, you must have like a lot more time to be able to do just stuff like create more content and stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly like my mornings. Each morning I spend a few hours of my day working on the content for the band. So like we just finished a music video for a song off of an EP 2 EPs ago. It's being edited right now, so probably come out either the end of this week actually or next week, which is great. We're doing live streams every day, like personal live streams instead of like band playing acoustic. We're doing like each member of the band has a different thing. For instance, my guitar player right now is live streaming on our band account, like a guitar playthrough of one of our EPs. So that's cool. And then we're just working on some graphic stuff that we can be posting. We have a live record that's up and out now, like pre-orders up. So like that, we're doing stuff like that. Bandcamp's waiving their fees certain days. So we're like finding fun ways to direct people to the Bandcamp. If they really want to download the music, they can, and we get paid more than we normally would, even though we don't really ask for any. Coming up with new, we're meeting up to get some new music videos shot for new songs. We're coming up with clever ideas for that. Like, I'm making up the time. I'm certainly not letting any of the time go to waste because I think it's really important. Like we said earlier, any bands that are like letting time just pass with nothing going on, people are moving on. They're finding bands. They need engagement in some capacity. And if the less you do, there's like the perfect middle between too little and too much. And you got to find what works for you and your community. What's that perfect middle? I think we've kind of figured it out, at least as well as I think I'm going to figure it out for now. So
that's like, have you seen what Machine Gun Kelly's been up to?
Oh, amazing. That's got
fucking incredible.
And I'm paying attention to him now.
Yeah. That's a lot of people. You look through the comments and people are, I'm an Eminem fan, but I love Machine Gun Kelly. Like that's like everyone saying that. It's unbelievable. He's blown up on YouTube.
couple friends my age, like in their mid-30s, who don't care for Post Malone. All of a sudden, I saw on Facebook the other day when he did the Nirvana cover set, all of a sudden I saw all these people that I'm friends with who I know that they don't like it, sharing the post saying, I don't normally like this kind of stuff or this kind of music, but this guy's killing it. This is awesome. Engagement.
I feel like it's, especially as like a professional musician, it's got to be dangerous to kind of just trap yourself in like one genre kind of box. Because I mean, like, dude, you guys could probably go make some like rock jazz thing or some cool like that, or cover some old jazz tunes or something like that from like Frank Sinatra or some shit. And like somebody be like, dude, that's my shit. That's fucking awesome. Like,
right. Like this new record that's coming out, actually, I shouldn't say. We have music on the record. We wrote songs that are not what our sound is. We're very pumped. And it's for other people, and I think they'll like it. And so, yes, I agree with you. And yes, we are doing exactly that. We're expanding the bubble a little bit, because why not? If people don't like it, then just don't write any more songs like that.
It's super important to get out of your comfort zone. I remember one of the best learning experiences for me doing comedy was I swapped sets. Nick, Brooke Barcel, with Brooke. She did my set and I did hers, and she's a female comedian, and it's very, like female sexual oriented. And I got to say, that was one of the most awkward experiences of my life, but it's super productive to get out of your comfort zone every now and then like that.
I love it. Why not? Why not give it a try?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're so sure that you're going to be able to pinpoint exactly what it is that you should be doing and sounding like that's going to hit as many people as possible, why would you not give it a try?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot.
Because the three negative comments are going to say, you're not a band that sounds like this. Why are you writing songs like this? Like, don't do that. Who cares?
Right.
Music is always changing too. I mean, like, look at like 3-4 years ago, back when like one of the things to do was like people were mixing in like 70s funk in with like just like rap songs. Like Paramore had like that 70s funk like song that they did. Like that shit was cool. Like I love when musicians do that, where they kind of just branch out, take some stuff from
that band, the 1975, just put out a new song. It sounds like it was straight up written and recorded in 1986. Sounds exactly like just British pop with sax. It just sounds like it came out in 86. If you told me that this was written in 86, I'd say, all right, yeah, sounds like those songs.
The 1975's been going off.
Oh, yeah.
Recently.
That rocks.
Yeah. So who's you guys' biggest inspiration? Because we're done about 45, so we'll do that, and then.
As a band?
Yeah.
I would say that what makes I'm sure there's plenty of bands like this, but I can't speak for the band because everybody has their own. It's really cool being in a band with people who are from all over, not all from here, and also who are all very different in what their hobbies are and what their kind of music that they like. But like, I know like our guitar player's favorite band is Green Day still. He's just a Green Day guy. Our singer really loves anything. What's the guy's name? He did something corporate and Jack's Mannequin, and I can't think of his name. He loves him. He loves him, and he loves some other like indie stuff, and also ska. My drummer loves rap almost exclusively and old.
Andrew McMahon, that's who it was.
Andrew McMahon. He loves Andrew McMahon. Anything Andrew McMahon. Sorry, that just my brain blanked. Drummers into rap almost exclusively.
That's awesome.
Loves some like classic rock as well, because his dad is in Stars and he was in a band called Vixen. So he grew up with classic rock. Our bass player loves he loves everything. He loves hardcore bands, metalcore, pop punk stuff. And same with me. Like Weird Al is my favorite artist. I love Weird Al. But when I was younger, I also got into Poison the Well, Converge, Catch-22, and Alkaline Trio all on the same day. The CDs were handed to me by a friend. So it was like all different music,
Awesome.
So, as far as a band goes, I'd say we're most inspired collectively by like the older punk bands. Like the mentality and the attitude and the sound, like we still all love to see a Bad Religion. We still all love to see a Pennywise.
Yeah.
And Jake. We love those old Tony Hawk pro skater bands. Like and they're still up there just ripping it, having fun, like laughing, talking to each other in between the songs, like having dialogue, like you make you feel good. Like it feels genuine, you know?
Yeah.
I know those bands also make a lot of money and like it's a business, but they make it still feels punk. And that is, I think, the biggest thing to us. And any time we ever tour with other bands who, regardless of what they sound like, they have that like punk mentality, like they're doing it because they're their way, because they want to do it. Those are always bands that we like end up riding with for a long time. So
yeah,
I think that's it for us, man. There's a lot of bands that we like, but they all sound different, but they all have that one thing in common. They don't care. Like they're here to do the thing their way, and they want to have fun and they want to give people a good time, you know?
your true self is definitely the best way to sell yourself. Yeah, don't.
It'll make you last the longest for sure. Like,
I mean, you could see how many fake artists there are in all avenues, in everything.
Yeah.
You could see when something's not genuine, or like you really think that, or you read an interview and you're like, that is really how you feel. Come on, just be honest here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that's better than giving some bullshit on stage. Like, it's one thing to know your fans and what you can say to your fans that's going to make them more psyched. It's another thing to just straight up lie to them or pretend to be something you're not. Just be yourself.
There's a band I really like. It's called Death Grips. These guys are like an internet band. Like people like them on the internet. These dudes were signed by, I think it was Epic actually, to make after they had like a pretty successful album and like they were gonna start getting put in. And the band is just like three dudes. Like they didn't like that the Epic was making them change their sound and do this stuff. So what they did was they basically said, fuck you to Epic. They uploaded their album that was going to be released on Epic on the dark web. And then they made the album cover of it just a picture of the dude's like erect dick. And that's what they fucking, and then Epic dropped them like right after it. And they just started releasing music on their own. But
that's what Taylor Swift should have done to Scooter Braun.
Yep. That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Well, who's that one pop artist that was in the news like a year ago or something like that? Because she was like getting like straight up physically abused by like the record label.
Was that
guy.
Kesha?
I think it was Kesha.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a couple years ago, but I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine like Kesha just like uploads to the internet like the entire album just with a picture of her asshole on it or something.
Dude, that Weinstein thing really blew the top off of it. There are some scumbags in Hollywood and in the music business. In the business side of it.
There are people like that everywhere. There's no question. So
yeah. That's so we've done about 45. Do you got anything you want to plug before we send you on your merry way?
Just, like I was saying earlier, we did just release a live album. Limited to 300 copies, like one-time only press, which is really exciting. Smartpunkshop.com has that. It's down to about 100 copies left, so we're really stoked that in like less than a month we've sold 2/3 of the pressing, which is cool for a small band. Mm-hmm. And then the socials, everything's Keep Flying Band. Like I said, we got streams pretty regularly, almost every weekday. Different fun shit. And then we're going to start rolling out the new record soon. We got some new music videos coming out. We're going to have stuff falling at you pretty much left and right. So if you got a free time, you got any free minutes, we'll take them. You want to check out a new band, take a risk on a new band with a punk band with horns that sounds like it should have been on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater Volume 1 soundtrack.
which people fucking love. So
there's not one bad song on that.
Nope.
So if you like that, you might like us. And we're a super insane live band. That's our other gimmick. We have psychotic energy on the stage, which is why this pandemic is certainly hurting us, because really the best way for us to make new fans is when we perform. So hopefully sooner than later. And in the meantime, we'll just keep on doing the thing, hanging out, talking with guys like you, having fun.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah,
what's
man.
up.
Well, you guys ain't got nothing but time right now out there. So, yeah, it's just like you said, try something new. I mean, just go hop on their YouTube channel or something. Just listen to a song, throw it on loop or on shuffle, and just, maybe you'll find something you didn't know you liked. Like,
Give it a shot. Give something a shot. At least, if not us, something, you know?
Right. And then
I'm finishing in 3 days. I will have finished Lost for my 10th time. But my mother's first time through, and I was very excited to convince her to do this journey, and she's so in, and it's something for her, and it just makes me fired up seeing how, like, certain episodes, like, I know what's coming. I look over at her, and oh, she's crying. Oh, she's upset. Nice.
That's the best about those TV shows.
Give something to try, you know?
yeah, I finally got my older brother to watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies during all this, man.
My favorite.
Anytime I'd be like, yo, you need to watch this shit, he'd be like, no, it's just a bunch of people walking for 3 hours. And he finally fucking watched it. Finally.
What do you think?
He loved it. He was like, yeah, they're cool.
Oh, he did?
I was like, yeah. All right, good.
Oh, if you don't feel some sort of emotions by the end of that, I don't know what to tell you. That is a journey, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
I get heated debates with people over all the time on favorite trilogies, because I love Star Wars, but original Star Wars trilogy is not my favorite. I love Back to the Future, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lord of the Rings
Lord of the Rings is just, oh my God, cinematically, it's such a well-made trilogy.
Dude,
like
my girl's brother and his husband, they have like this entire shrine to Lord of the Rings in their house.
Hell
like
yeah,
an entire
dude.
shelf dedicated to it.
I need to see it.
I know,
yeah,
right?
I do too, man. They got
I'll
like
get a
an
picture
actual,
for you guys. Yeah.
an actual forged sword of Gondor and shit on there. Like, dude, that's my shit,
Well,
man.
he wanted for their wedding for the rings to be like the one ring. But I guess that got shot down. So
That's hilarious.
I wish it didn't.
all right, you guys, thanks so much. Hopefully second time was the charm here for this one.
Yeah,
you guys have a
fucking
dope
hope
night.
so, man. Hell yeah. You too. Hey, see you, John. Stay
Take
safe
care,
out there
John.
too, bro.
Yeah, stay safe and check on your friends, y'all. Peace out.
Cheers.